Acura's all-new ADX, a compact SUV that isn't just built for one thing. It's precision crafted for everything. To escape the grind with available all-wheel drive. To go with your flow with available Google built-in.
Hey Google, turn it up.
Okay, turning up the volume. And crafted to be heard with an available Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. The all-new Acura ADX, crafted to match your energy. Acura, precision crafted performance.
Take your vibes and go, 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 go.
Google is a trademark of Google LLC.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
And hi, am I there now? Because I still don't hear me on my headphones, but that's okay.
You don't have mine on either. Someday,
you know,
still not there.
We do the best we can. I'm Don McDonald. Tom's not here. He's here, but he's not really here. Your other mic.
There you go.
There you go.
Hey,
oh, you're no longer just a figment of my imagination.
You're always hoping, I know, but still.
Well,
the nightmare
continues. As they say, hope springs eternal.
Indeed it does.
And then summer comes and you're depressed.
No,
if you live in Florida.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the great
If you live in Florida.
Here.
If I was in Seattle, I'd be happy with the summer coming.
Days go on forever. The sun comes out every once in a while. This is like, wow, big deal.
Unbelievable. I'm just so happy for you.
Thank you.
I can't control my joy. Hi, I know you can hear it in my voice, too. This is the program called Talking Real Money, where we, guess what we do? Guess what we do?
There's something.
Talk real money.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I was looking back at the podcasts. When was our first show on Como?
Wow, I have no idea.
January 25th, 2014. Pretty good. We've lasted a few years.
So January 20. Okay, that sounds about right. So 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, almost 4 years.
Now,
and
certainly
you're invited
we've been doing radio long before that.
Oh, radio.
Woo!
Radio. We go way back in radio. I'm just talking about on Como.
Okay. All right. That is a long time.
14.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing this show in this slot every single weekend.
And I don't think we've ever had a tape. Have we? I think the show has been live every time. When you haven't been there, I've been there. When I haven't been there, I think it's always been live.
We did have one.
Did we?
We did. We had one during Retire Meet Bellevue.
Okay. But we were working. We weren't just
We were working,
around.
but we weren't goofing around. We were working really hard. We didn't just take off.
So we are your weekend warriors here. So, okay.
We are. We're committed to something really important.
Or should be.
And that is actually, well, that's a different story entirely. Committed to actually empowering you to make great financial decisions, giving you the tools, the knowledge, and the confidence you need to stop being taken advantage of, to stop being ripped off, to stop being lied to, fibbed to, etc., to get you on the course to the best future you can possibly have financially. That's what our purpose is. And to help you do that, we have this wonderful little toll-free number. It doesn't have to be toll-free, but it makes life easier. 855-935-TALK is the number. That's 855-935-8255. So here's what I'd like you to do. Call us and let us try to help you with some of these problems that make you crazy. For example, one of the things I'm going to talk about throughout this program and programs to come.
Oh, there's something to look forward to just in case you didn't get enough of it today.
Right.
Weeks ahead.
I am... a lot of people in the financial services industry don't like me.
Oh, don't sell yourself short.
They hate me.
There's very few that like you. I think you should be more honest about this.
All right. Well, whatever.
Okay.
But the reason is, I don't think that they're all evil. I don't. In fact, I don't think most of them are evil. I think only a tiny fraction are truly bad people. What my beef, all of my good friends listening, my beef with most of the people who sell financial products and services,
yes,
is the fact that they don't regularly tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Well, incentivized to fudge a little bit.
Fudge is a good word.
Okay, yeah,
it's a great word. They're because the bigger word, the word that nobody knows would be obfuscate. They're paid to opaque the truth.
I mean, it came up today at a conversation we'll talk about a little later with a couple that came in. I'm not even sure they need an advisor, but they've been out shopping for advisors. So they said, tell us how much we'd pay in every one of these circumstances. So we took the whiteboard out and put up, do it yourself this much, hire somebody like us this much, brokerage. So to really understand how much you're paying and for what.
And that's one of my beefs, and we're going to talk about it right here on Talking Real Money.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
In addition to the Talking Real Money podcast, I also do another podcast that's very popular over at Apple Podcasts. It's called Money 30. Every day I try to educate and inform you about money in a brief 2 to 4 minute podcast. So check them out at Apple Podcasts or all the other podcast services or at money30.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
Every single Saturday, you can call us at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255 between the hours of, let's say about 3 and 6 on the East Coast or noon and 3 on the West Coast, even if you're listening to us elsewhere. So give us a call, 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255, and we'll talk a little bit more about the misleading nature of many of the sales pitches. I don't want to call them outright lies, but they are a little misleading. We'll get to that in a minute, but first we're going to get to the phones. And Teresa, it is your turn. Welcome to the program.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Our pleasure.
I am 71, working full-time, and I just got a new job that I'm now eligible for their 401k, and they sent me some materials. Because I'm that age, I've already had to take the required minimum distribution. And what I was thinking from my other investments, and they're in Vanguard now, and I took your advice and got the VTX or whatever that
VTWSX. Well done.
VWSX. But what I've in Vanguard, I still haven't figured out what exactly I'm doing, but I've got 23% in that world stock index and the rest in money market. And I haven't figured out about, I think you said to probably put money in the world bond fund. I haven't figured out what percentage to do that. But on the current one that I'm able to get into, I was thinking of going really conservative, maybe just the money market account, because that one I'd have to liquidate probably sometimes companies make you liquidate your 401k after you leave employment, and I'm 71. I'm hoping to work 3 years so I can get vested and get the amount that they contribute.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand. Your question is, how should you invest the current plan?
Should I just go real conservative in the current one that I'm able to, like money market or something that I'm not going to lose, and then get more, maybe the more aggressive in the Vanguard that I'm not going to have to liquidate?
Well, yeah, obviously.
And maybe offset the amount of money that I have to take out for the required minimum distribution.
Yeah, I understand.
So I won't be taxed now that I'm working full-time and getting Social Security and everything. So
okay, is it my turn now? I get to talk more than this at home. That's a bad joke. So here's the thing.
Yes, it was a bad joke.
It's a bad joke. Here's the thing. Okay, number one, your assumptions are correct. If you're going to need the money sooner from one account, then yes, that should be managed more conservatively. That said, if it was my money, I might divide that between the money market and the total bond then. Maybe so at least the bond gives you a little bit of lift. Because the money market is going to, lose to inflation.
The money market is pretty much a guaranteed loss.
So maybe half and half.
Yeah.
Then take the other one. Go ahead, Don.
But I have kind of an issue with what I think is your reason. Because you didn't say you were going to need it. You said you were concerned they'd make you take it out. Now, so what? I mean, unless you need the money, unless you need it to spend in the next 3 years or so, then there's really no reason to have a money market. The only reason for a money market is to have short-term liquidity. There are other vehicles, a short-term bond fund that's going to yield a lot more money.
Yeah.
And not have the, not guarantee you an absolute loss, but it doesn't have that 100% guaranteed liquidity either. So it sounds to me from what you said about worried about maybe they're going to make you take your 401k out, you sound like a pretty disciplined investor. So I don't really see a reason for the money market. I'd look for a short or intermediate term bond fund like the Vanguard Bond Index or something, whatever's available in that 401k.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for calling.
And I think you should go take the risk quiz, too.
Yeah.
It's free. I mean, you go to Vestory.com, click on risk quiz, because that
find out what your risk tolerance is.
Yeah, because that would play into it. I mean, you're in a kind of a unique situation there. So, great question.
A good situation.
Oh, yeah, it's terrific. Terrific.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Teresa. Appreciate the call. 855-935-8255, 855-935-TALK. We're advisors. We own an investment advisory firm. We do. But we also are big believers in the ability of a lot of people to make some of these decisions and do some of these things on their own with a modicum of knowledge. It doesn't take a great deal. And it's people like Teresa that we want to, keep away from the folks who sell, for example, who sell annuities inside 401k plans.
Yeah, and you see a lot of that, by the way, especially with educators. It's that's a 403B, but you hear a lot. You hear that stuff's out there, right? I mean, it's being sold to people every day, and this is where the devil's in the details, because oftentimes you'll hear Don and I say no, or that's bad, and we don't get into the reasons why it's bad. Because we don't have enough
a limited amount of time.
Yeah, so, I mean, and I think we've even said before, well, not all annuities are bad, but in a general sense, yeah, they are bad.
Well, and it's not necessarily that they're even bad. It's more the way they're sold. The people who sell them pretend that there is no compensation built in, which requires costs to you.
Yeah, that's
it's
misleading.
Like I've been reading some articles lately about equity indexed annuities, about some folks saying, "Oh, they're great," but then they neglect to mention that there's this massive surrender charge. They say, "Well, they're meant to be invested in for many years." Well, yeah, that's because there's this big honking surrender charge that they're going to recover through the spreads they make between what you make on the money and what they make on the money.
Well, and that brings me to the next point around that. Again, it's very opaque as to how they make money for the people that are running them. Because you hear people sometimes say, aha, this is a great product because it doesn't cost anything. Well, that's a little like saying when you buy an individual bond, I didn't pay the guy anything for that. Yeah, you did. No, I didn't. Sure you did, because there's a spread there that they collected from your purchase.
And the way to find out, there are little tricks. For example, let's say somebody says, I want you to buy this municipal bond, tax-free bond, great bond.
Yep.
Say, how much is it? How much am I paying you for the bond? 101 per unit, okay? Or $10,100 per bond. Well, then the next question you ask is, okay, let's assume I just bought the bond. I want to sell it back to you. How much are you going to give me for it?
Now you got them. Oh, let me think.
I'd have to check with my desk and see.
Sales
manager. But you'll find that instead of paying $10,100, they're likely to only give you $9,900 for the bond. That's their spread. That's how they make money. Nothing wrong with making money. I am not opposed to it. I am, ladies and gentlemen, a capitalist. But I believe all capitalists should be honest. I don't believe in this caveat emptor garbage.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
We mention 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255 throughout the podcast. But you need to know that you can call that number 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Leave your question, and those will be answered in special Talking Real Money podcasts that will appear on this particular site in the future. So give us a call, 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
And for those of you not fluent in Latin, caveat emptor means basically buyer beware.
Yeah.
And buyer beware, it's just an excuse. It excuses bad behavior.
I agree with that. Yeah, right. You should have known better. Yeah.
It's like the interview we did with Jordan. Yeah,
Right.
It's just capitalism. No, it's not just capitalism.
Yeah.
Capitalism should not be I got you.
And that, by the way, a lot of people think that's how people are successful in business.
Cheating people.
Well, if you think, and I don't want to get political here, but there's a certain figure that made a lot of money and then ran successfully for political office who apparently did that. I mean, if you believe everything you read.
Wait, we have a business person as president?
As you may know. So, I mean,
we did?
Yeah.
Really?
And so that
Herbert Hoover. I know who you're talking about.
That's right. Good point. So, I mean, you shouldn't have to. Somebody shouldn't have to win, and somebody shouldn't have to lose when it comes to your finances.
There you go.
That shouldn't be the way it is.
That was the perfect encapsulation.
All right, thank you.
Of my thought process entirely. Tom is done. Life is over. He has reached the pinnacle. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Cock, give him a big hand.
You.
Thank you so much for being a part of the show. 855-935-TALK is our number, 855-935-8255. And Kevin, it's your turn. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Good.
Hey, got a question. My wife and I have a couple Roth IRAs in the Vanguard Total World Stock Index. So we're doing pretty good there. We paid off our house. We are completely debt-free. I do have a $20,000 emergency fund that I currently have in a safety deposit box. But I was thinking,
wait. You have the actual cash?
Wait, you got a stack of cash in the box?
Can you give me the location of the box and the code? Well, we'll do that off the air.
It's a key, guys. It's a key. It won't do you any good.
Okay. So your question is that a good idea?
Cash?
Yeah. Why would
wait,
you have that?
Why is it in cash? Maybe he has a good reason.
Well, because we're big Dave Ramsey followers, so it's just our 6 months to a year emergency
Dave
fund.
tells you to put it in a box and leave it locked up?
No, that's why I'm calling you. Is that the best place to put it?
No.
No.
That would not be.
Okay.
No, you want to earn some money from your money. Now, let me just give you and let me give you a little hint. I mean, we were talking to Teresa about money market funds.
Right.
If you go to bankrate.com.
Yeah, which is a very good source to look at mortgage rates and CD rates. And yeah, I mean, it's all right there. It's free. It's pretty good service. Bankrate.com.
And
what are you making? What are they paying?
They have right now. I'm going to look for try to find the highest one.
Yeah, because $20,000 is a decent amount.
Yeah, I want to find the highest one for $20,000. That would be this one. This is an FDI insured bank. You can put it in there online. They're paying 1.95%.
Which is more than the bank's paying you to keep it locked up in a box.
Well, they're not paying.
I know. I'm being facetious. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's all right. Hey, should I do that? Or I was looking at American Express high yield savings account. I think it's almost at 1% or right around 1%.
Well, Don just gave you a higher rate, but that's your call.
Yeah, but that would be fine.
Sure.
No.
At least you're making something.
Because American Express Bank is FDIC insured. You see, the point Dave Ramsey and others make for the emergency money is you want to make sure that money is there for you.
Yeah.
Now, if you have it in an FDI insured bank account on which you have check writing privileges, which they almost all provide, then when you need the money, it is right there for you. It is guaranteed to be there by the U.S. government, which is the exact same guarantee they give you on the bills.
By the way, that's not the best story I've ever heard. We met with a guy once who told us he had $40,000 buried in his yard, and he told us where he lived. I never thought to take the metal detectors down there.
Pablo Escobar did that, and it rotted. It was a bad idea. 855-935-TALK is our number. Stop in.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
All right, let's get this break out of the way really quickly. If you're looking for an investment advisor, you need a fee-only, 100% fiduciary, low-cost, science-based advisor. And that describes Vestory. If you'd like to learn more about us, it's really easy. Go to Vestory.com, Vestory.com, or give us a call at 800-386-3004, 800-386-3004. There, that wasn't so bad.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
During the break, I went and checked American Express National Bank.
How much?
And on their personal savings account.
And can you write a check off their personal savings?
Yes.
Oh, okay. That's a pretty good deal. Yeah, how much?
They're paying 1.65%.
That or put it in a metal box somewhere. I'll go with the 1.65%.
You know what? And the minimum is $1. $1?
So let's see, how long does it take to double that? No. And if you put it in a box, how long will it take to... I can't.
Well, and you know what's funny is that when we teach our classes, we, as a matter of fact, I just put in initial, they have a little, at their website, they have a calculator. And if you put in $1 initially and you leave it there for 10 years, their calculator estimates the future value as $1 because it rounds.
It rounds, so you're still at a buck.
It rounds. They don't put in pennies. So let's see what happens if you put in $10.
That is one of the most demonstrative slides we have at our class, by the way. And we still have, if you don't have anything for lunch next Wednesday, we still have seats for the lunch ed. But that slide that shows your dollar goes to whatever in different asset classes, it just tells the story so well.
Because I don't have it in front of me, but
I know.
I believe if you put $1 in Treasury bills, bills which are 1 year,
from 1926,
I believe that it was less than $100.
Oh yeah, no, it was less than $100
over 90 years.
Yeah, right.
Okay, here I got if you put $10 in because it does round.
Yeah.
So if you'd put $1 in, you would have had $1.20 in 10 years.
All right. Well, okay. Well, more than you would have had in the other metal box.
In the box, yeah. And much more than you would have had if you put it in the backyard where it will literally, particularly in the Pacific Northwest, it'll rot.
And by the way,
it will rot.
We didn't finish giving you the other number. If you put
what number?
Well, if you put that $1 in small cap stocks.
Oh, it's 40,000.
No, is it 20?
No. Hold on.
A lot of money.
Now you're going to make me pull it up.
Get the number. Oh, that would be good.
I tell you what, while I'm pulling it up, let's go to the phones. Right. The number is 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. And Jacob, it's your turn while I look this up.
Hi, Jacob. How can we help you?
Hey, gentlemen. Thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I got a couple things on my mind, so I was just wondering, how much time do I actually have with you?
Well, let's see what we got, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Cool. So
we don't commit to anything.
Go ahead.
So I work at a bank, and whenever I see large balances, I've been taught to say, hey, I really want to see if we're taking the best care of you. Have you thought about sitting down with our financial planner? And whenever I do that, I kind of have this feeling in my stomach where it's like, okay, how do I get this personal connection where I feel like it's okay for myself to ask them essentially what do they do with their money? So I really do respect my financial advisor team there, and he kind of installed the philosophy of, hey, they're not signing any documents that first day, or we're not selling them a product. I just want to talk with them and just make sure that they're doing okay. So what is it necessarily that the financial advisor at the banks do compared to Vanguard and other stuff like that?
You want to take that one, Don?
Oh, I'd love to take that one.
Oh.
And by the way, Tom, it is $23,000.
Okay, I was close. Okay, but that's quite a difference, by the way, from being in T-bills. So go ahead.
Yeah, by the way, T-bills is $21.
21. So
21.
There's a reason to own those smaller companies, yeah.
Anyway, back to Jacob's excellent question.
Yes,
now, Jacob, this is not, now bear in mind I'm painting with a very broad brush because I don't know which bank you work for, but I have yet to meet or hear of in my 30 plus years in this business, I have yet to hear of a bank that sells no-load index funds to their clients. I have yet to hear of one. It's not saying there isn't one. Oh, wait, there is one. There was one. CNL Bank in Orlando was a DFA. Their broker in the bank is a DFA advisor.
Wow.
100% pure fiduciary. But those are rare as, what's the teeth?
So Jacob,
hen's teeth.
What firm does the person in the lobby work for?
There's a wealth management team.
But I mean, who employs them?
U.S. It's
he got. I already know. You're fine. You're good. You're okay.
We don't want you in trouble, but
we don't want you in trouble.
No.
But let me just tell you, here's our beef with the brokers in the bank. One, they are not absolutely in 99% of the cases, they are not always required to act as a fiduciary. That's problem one. Problem two is they probably sell high commissioned products. That's one of the reasons why you're asked to push people to the advisory side of the business, because that's where the banks and the like make big bucks, if even from referrals. And hang around, I'll come right back to you after this.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
If you need help allocating your retirement plan at work, you can get free help at 401-411.com. That's 401-411.com.
Your guides to a really great financial future. Tom and Don are talking real money.
855-935-TALK is our phone number to talk real money with you. We're talking to Jacob right now. Jacob works for a bank, and Jacob is told by the bank when somebody has a bunch of money that instead of having them put it in a bank account, that he should suggest they go see their wealth managers. That's what they tend to call them in the bank. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure in the bank you're talking about, they call them that there. And, Jacob, I'm reading from a well-known bank you might know, hint, hint, from their fee schedule.
Yeah, how much?
And it says, no, it doesn't, what it says here is, it says, what they don't give you the fees. They say what we sell are load mutual funds.
That means
unit
commissions.
Investment trusts and variable annuities, saying, quote, subject to applicable sales charges and or redemption fees as stated in the prospectus. So
we would not recommend anybody run out and buy any of those, by the way, just so you know. So
no, because you're paying somebody a big fat commission to get into a product that you can get into somewhere else potentially for free. Or if you need someone to advise you, you need someone advising you who doesn't have the conflict of interest of generating a sales commission.
Right.
All right. What's your other question? We got other people waiting. What do you got? Hit us.
Or
is that it? That's it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Cool.
Good
Thanks,
luck
Jacob. Good luck. 855-935-TALK's our number. 855-935-8255. And Janie, it's your turn. Welcome to Talking Real Money.
Hey, good morning. I have a question. I live in the state of Washington, so I have my kids. I have twin daughters that are going to be graduating in 3 years, and I have money invested in the Washington Get account, their 529 plan.
Yes,
it's
not a 529, but go ahead.
It isn't. Okay, well, whatever their education plan is,
yes.
But they're changing things.
Yes.
And they're giving us the option to roll things into the Dream Ahead program.
Yes.
So my kids, I only have 3 years to go.
Yeah, we think.
Wait.
The Dream On program is a good one.
Dream Ahead, isn't it?
I thought it was Dream On. Okay.
Dream Ahead.
I'm sorry.
All right, hold on. Janie, I want to ask you an important question.
Yes.
This is the important question.
She already gave you the answer.
No. Okay, one. Where do your kids think they're going to go to school?
They don't know. They were talking about everything. I mean, I've got one that might want to go to Gonzaga, and the other might want to go to Central, but I don't know.
Okay, here's the thing. If you stick with the Get, you get a guarantee.
You get what you got. It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, you got 10 grand or so per year to spend anywhere you want, but it's guaranteed that you'll get into a state school. They guarantee
you're going to get in, guarantee it'll pay
guaranteed
for it.
they're going to pay for it.
You still got to have the academics.
They're going to give you, though, if you go to the Dream Ahead plan.
Oh, Dream Ahead. Huh? Okay. I thought it was Dream On.
For 2 weeks now in a row, you've been calling it Dream On. Dream Ahead.
It's
Dream
projecting,
on.
I think.
Dream On.
Okay.
They're going to give you a 38% bonus.
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
Sweet.
It's totally sweet. But here's our issue. as Tom was getting ready to say, I think, that the Dream On plan.
Dream along, then you've got to take.
Dream ahead.
Pardon me. The Washington 529 plan, which I wish they would call it instead. So
instead of Dream Ahead?
Yeah, so what happens is now you're out in the marketplace and you got to use that money to pay for school. So there's no guarantee as to how much it will pay for. Does that make sense?
Yes. Right.
Okay. So there's a risk to do. I mean, if it was my money, I'd do
Heartbeat.
it. Yeah, I would do it. I'd take the bonus and move to the
I'd be there
Dream
30
Along
seconds
program.
flat. No, I'd take the bonus, move it.
Well, no, and then I would move it. Yes, we talked about
here's
this last
what we
week.
would suggest.
Yeah.
You take the if you're going to take the bonus, if you don't mind taking the risk, you take the bonus, you transfer it into the Dream Ahead.
Yep.
You just leave it in the money market for about a day, and you go to Utah and you open their 529.
Oh, that's so funny because I have a Utah plan also. So I hedged myself. I had my
UESP.
Yeah, I have an account for my kids there as well.
I would just
what
do
I
that.
do is just take all that money and move it over there. One, it's going to make it a lot easier when you come to take it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Two, you get better funds, and three, the costs are lower in Utah.
Great. Okay, you helped me. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Jane.
You're very welcome,
Great question.
Janie.
Yeah, great question.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, I want to mention if you don't have lunch plans on Wednesday.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do.
Doggone it. Okay, I was hoping you'd come by Wednesday. Now, to those of you who do not.
Oh, you mean somebody other? You were talking to somebody other than me. You're like talking to the radio audience.
Which I much prefer, as you know.
I sometimes forget that we're talking to other people.
So if you don't have lunch plans and you want to get a good lunch, what do you call it?
From Panera.
Scrumptious lunch.
And it's nourishing.
Yeah, and an education at the same time. Because we just mentioned a couple of numbers
nourishing too.
That are incredibly important. Because if you just take the money in anything and you put it in treasury instruments, and we see this all the time.
This is an important question, though.
Yeah.
Did you leave the slide in?
That slide is there.
The money.
That slide's there.
Because I know you took it down to like
about
2 slides.
I know. So you learn pretty key things about risk and return when it comes to your money, how to build a retirement portfolio. We do it in 45 minutes. It's a small class, so it's very personal.
Tiny.
Yeah, and we only do, 15, 16, whatever it is, people.
16 people max.
And we have a few left, so you could still go to talkingrealmoney.com.
I sure hope that's
okay.
it.
Well, you're in charge of all that.
It is our website. Yeah, it's there.
Okay, so you'd have to sign up pretty much like today or tomorrow, or you can't make it.
Right, so, we can't order your lunch for you in time.
Or you get a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I make it home. So maybe some carrots.
The Tom bag lunch.
Exactly. So it's this Wednesday, June 13th, lucky 13th, at noon in Bellevue. You come, you learn, and you eat. That's why they call it
all you're going to get is if you come late, if you sign up late, all you're going to get is a bottle of 5-hour energy. That's all he's got in his office.
Yeah, but you'll be awake for the entire presentation.
You know what's funny is back in the day, when you watch old television shows, like, for example, Mad Men.
Yeah.
Or, I was watching some other show, and when they're the stressful times in the office, the boss, Mary Tyler Moore, Ed Asner, he'd go into the office and he'd open a drawer and he'd pull out the bottle of whiskey.
There you go. Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
John Draper always had the whiskey.
Oh, they had a lot of that. Yeah.
Now, at Vestry's office, you open Tom's desk drawer and you pull out a case of 5-hour energy.
There's a message there.
There is no bar cart in Tom's office.
That's sad, I guess, at one level. But
no, actually,
maybe
it's probably
advancement. I don't know.
I was going to say, in many ways, it's probably better. You notice the 3 martini lunches are gone now.
Yeah.
In fact, it was so great. The other day, my wife and I were somewhere around lunchtime. Oh, we were over at downtown Disney, or Disney Springs, as they call it now. And it was lunchtime. And we were at a restaurant having lunch, and I said, I'm going to have a beer. She goes, you're going to have a beer at lunch?
What do I got in the afternoon? Come on.
I said, wait, it's Sunday. She goes, yeah, but you don't have beers at lunch. I said, people used to have 3 martini lunches.
Come on. Yeah.
Come on. Oh, speaking of family, I forgot. I wanted to mention.
Well, hurry up.
I got a minute.
Okay.
This week, I had a new grandson. I didn't have him. My daughter-in-law did, but I got it. You got a new grandson on the way?
Yeah.
And I just had a new grandson.
So what does this make? How many now?
I'm at 3 grandkids now.
Wow.
Two grandsons and 1 granddaughter.
I'll be at 3 in July.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
now
talking
one
to
is
your
not
daughter.
my biological, but I consider him my grandson.
No.
as well.
I was talking to your daughter though. She's going like, I just wanted out earlier.
Yeah, she's a tiny little thing, and she's carrying around
like,
a big
I just want it out.
baby.
Can we get it out now, please? So anyway,
Coming soon.
I'm going up to see him this weekend for the first time.
Nice.
And,
Congratulations.
looking forward
That's
to it.
awesome.
Yeah, thanks. We'll be back.
Tom and Don are talking real money.
Keeping the podcast breaks as painless as possible is my goal. That's why I want to very quickly tell you about the only magazine I've ever heard of that is 100% real investing all the time. There's no business news, no speculative advice, and certainly no lifestyle stuff. It's called Real Investing Journal. I publish it every quarter, and you can get 2 full years for only $25 at realinvestingjournal.com. That's realinvestingjournal.com.
For your real life and real future, Tom and Don are talking real money.
As Tom mentioned, we've got the Lunch Ed coming up in just a few days. We've got a couple of events coming up in June where you can learn how to invest the right way. So what you need to do is go get your tickets right now to either of those. It's at talkingrealmoney.com. That's talkingrealmoney.com.
We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately and consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit talkingrealmoney.com for more information and disclosures. Are we done now?